Let's go ahead and get started. Good morning. Texas Power Up is in full swing. If you want to write down these numbers, we are officially 53 days away from Halloween. We are 77 days away from Thanksgiving, 87 days away from December 4th, which that is the last day that if you have a buyer who is going to purchase with a loan, that is the last day that they can have enough time to close out a loan in 2022. So 87 days, 108 days away from Christmas, 114 days away from New Year's. So we have 12 really meaningful weeks ahead, which is super exciting. So we have a fun update. We had 6 people join our company in the last 2 weeks. Welcome. We're so glad that you're here. And we're going to start out with shout outs and gratitude. So find the emoji button and click the little reaction and decide that you want to raise your hand. There we go. Casey, I already saw you. Yes, sir. Ready.
All right. Well, our Austin agents have heard this story, but I want to tell it to everyone. I want to shout out Sarah and Joseph here in Austin. Sarah called an expired at a call night, and she made the hard choice, decided to jump in, make those calls. She set a listing appointment and ended up she was going to be competing with 2 other agents. So Joseph here, who's like our mentor to our newer agents, he came in and he went on that appointment with them. He and I coached a lot on closing, and he did the hard thing. He asked for the business, he went for the close, and they signed the listing agreement, and they beat 2 other agents, both of which had a higher price than we did. But because we weren't blowing smoke, because we were honest, because we focused on the relationship and the long term, they went with us. So congratulations, guys. Well done.
I love that. And I had that on my shout out because it is a $595,000 listing. So it's not small potatoes, it is big potatoes. I love that. I love that. That's awesome. Yay, Casey, Joseph, and Sarah. Daniel, I see your hand. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to shout out the leadership on the team, just with all the resources and the knowledge and the experience around market shift. It has I've just been like a sponge, and it's been so helpful with conversations that I'm needing to have with clients and building successful initial conversations with future clients. It's just, doing it out on my own. Like, I can't imagine how to even structure this conversation. So super grateful for the wisdom and the knowledge around that.
Awesome. I love that. And I know all of our leaders are really good at this market shift because the market shift is real. And the best thing to do is lean into it and get after it. And I love, Daniel, that you're doing that. So way to go on that. Okay, anybody else? Make sure you put your hand up. I have a few. Memo in Austin and Maurice in Houston. I wanted to shout you guys out because you both signed a listing from just getting a phone call, right? Like, picking up your phone is so important. So I thought that was really, really a great reminder. I want to shout out Cheryl in Houston because she pended a listing from an open house. People are doing open houses, guys, and they are getting listings and they are pending them. I wanted to shout out Brian Miller in Houston because he signed a listing from door knocking. People are out there door knocking and they're taking listings. I wanted to wrap up my shout outs with shouting out our virtual assistant, virtual professional, Jonica. She has just been cranking out all these new projects, which has been really, really cool. And Mary, our director of operations, this week, she has just taken so much time for this new 72 unit development. This is on top of her regular job, and you're super appreciated, Mary, for doing that. It is tens upon tens of hours at this point, so very appreciative. Sarissa, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I just want to shout out the whole Dallas team. We are doing 100 listings in 100 days. And yeah, so it's been 7 days so far. We've taken 5. And I just want to kind of throw out, it's 2 of our agents that have taken those 5 so far. It's still early in the game, but big shout out to Elizabeth Gassos and Jen Velarde, who have been the front runners in our listing competition here. So
hey,
us all your people in Dallas that you want us to call and send you a referral check. Any investors you know up here that might want to unload properties, anything. We will take all the help we can get. Social media, shout outs, all the things. Thanks, guys.
Oh, right on. I love a good end of year challenge. Right on. 100 and 100. Let's go. Okay. All right. I love it. Okay. So I am super happy about all of that. Let's switch gears and get into our topic for today. By show of hands, who would say that they are really consistent in their business building activities and get really good results from it? Okay, I'm saying maybe 10% is what I'm saying. Okay, cool. So today we have a guest speaker that was recommended by one of my oldest Ben Kinney team friends, Michelle Bailey, in Boise. She is such a firecracker and I love her. And I was asking a couple top place teams, like, who should I know? Who is a star out there that perhaps is flying under the radar and I just haven't talked to before? And she said, you need to talk to Adam. And I was like, well, sounds like I need to talk to Adam. Adam is the director of sales at the Ben Kinney team, Idaho. And he has this passion for coaching agents. And I'm going to let him kind of introduce himself and tell us all about him. But I want to give you kind of some quick hits really quick, because I think you'd get a lot out of it. So let's see, there's somebody we got to mute for a second. Who is that? I can't find it, but if one of my co-hosts finds it, that'd be awesome. Adam sells 40 to 60 properties a year. So write this stuff down if you are taking notes. Adam sells 40 to 60 properties a year. He's a director of sales, BKT Idaho, loves dogs, loves baseball, loves fitness. He used to be a personal trainer. So that's a cool thing for those of us who don't train. And he can like moonwalk in steel-toed boots. I can't moonwalk, so that right there that's a win. And he's super methodical about his lead generation, which is why I wanted us to hear from him today. So I'm going to go ahead. Adam, you are like exactly what you told me. You'd be in your workout gear, ready to go, right?
Yeah, I just finished a workout, so thanks for having my bald, sweaty butt on here. I appreciate it.
I love it. I was like, well, as long as you have a shirt on, we're good. Before we get started, I wanted to kind of let you know that we have probably 10 to 12 people out of these 92 people that probably would call themselves above average at consistently building their business, right? Like, we're all building our business, but like not everybody's consistently building their business, right? Consistency is the key. Specifically, probably prospecting and following up, like, is probably the hardest thing for all of us to do consistently. Because once we have a client, we love working with the client. Like, that's not the problem. We're all in the service industry. And so what I see a lot, and I think as I was talking to all of our team leaders, we do prospecting during launch. And then as soon as we can graduate out of prospecting, we're done. I don't know if you guys feel that. Have you guys ever felt that? We see it. And then the other thing is that we're turning our database over every like 6 to 9 months versus every like month, meaning we call people in our database consistently every 6 to 9 months versus like every month or so. So to be able to kind of get into this topic, I wanted us to get to know Adam so you guys know like where he's coming from. Is that fair? Thumbs up? I got a couple people with me. I'm gonna take it. Okay, so Adam, tell us a little bit about you, your background, kind of where you grew up, like, do you have family? Why'd you get into real estate? That sort of thing.
Yeah, so born and raised in Denver, Colorado. I've actually been out in Idaho since November 28th, 2016. Moved the family out here with the original plans to expand my Denver business, who's Van Westenberg Partners out here. And then Michelle Bailey had followed up with me for about 3 years trying to recruit me and finally convinced me about a year ago. So I've been with Place. I just had my 1-year anniversary. And I got into real estate. I was a personal trainer for several years, ended up managing a top athletic club out in Denver. And my one of my clients, Allie Van Westenberg, had recruited me, and she got me into real estate after I kind of reached my ceiling at the athletic field. So ended up joining her, and rest is history. Just went in full bore and dove in and figured it out.
How long ago is that now?
That would have been 2014. I got licensed end of 2013.
Okay, got it. And right now, do you sell in like all of Idaho, or are there specific areas that you sell in?
Our group will sell, it's all Boise metro. It's not really a metro, right? We don't have enough people, but you guys are from big cities, so you'll get that. Denver is a metro. So I sell primarily Ada and Canyon County, which is Boise and surrounding areas, but we also have members on our team that'll sell East Oregon, up in different counties that I'm still not even that familiar with, right? Just being out here since 2016, I know my area really well.
Got it. And then what are you guys experiencing in your market right now? Like, is it all super hot still, or is there any shift? What's that looking like?
It's a big shift, right? So in knowing the numbers, I just taught a class on this a couple weeks ago. So closings are down 25%. Inventory is up 53%. Showings are down 50%. So, right. So basically buyers have double the inventory to choose from, and yet still closings are down by 25%. And with real estate metrics, we're tracking this all a month behind us. So it is progressively getting worse. So knowing the market and accurately portraying that to the client is of the utmost importance. So that way you can set proper expectations up front and get a 5-star review compared to pricing high, chasing the market, and potentially making some clients angry.
How, like, can you give me an example of like how you position that? Like, how do you hear your agents, or how do you coach your agents to position that? Like if you were walking into an appointment and maybe they're hoping that they're the one person who not be that person, right? Like they can get the price that they think they want. How do you position it?
Yeah, so right now it's about pulling the right comps and knowing the numbers, so that way you can actually show a client this with accurate data and prep them, right? If they're interviewing multiple agents and these agents are going to be showing them comps for properties that sold in April that was listed at 500 and sold for 550, and it's the same house, well, you can't price it at 550 right now, and we're still dealing with that. So Michelle and I actually just went through all of our active listings for our team and met with the agents to get price reductions on some of them. So, that all happened. And now what we're doing now is we are preparing for appointments more as a team, training agents better to make sure they're going with accurate numbers to the appointment to set those proper expectations up front.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So before we get into expireds and withdrawals, is there anything that you want to share about lead generation? Like, do you lead generate, or when did you stop lead generating maybe? And then what do you think keeps people from lead generating past those first few months?
Yeah, well, that's easy. What keeps people from it is knowing that it sucks, right? It's not fun. It's monotonous boredom. I hate it. I talk to 30 people every day about real estate in 2 states, and it's the worst part of my day, but I make it as fun as possible. I build my bunker. I get it over with early. For me, it's like folding white clothes, right? White clothes suck because there's more matching involved in that. So I do that load of laundry first, right? So I start my day right after power up. I pound the phones for a few hours. I get my contacts in. And then even if I do not do another thing that day, I still had a successful day.
So you still do it?
Oh yeah, every single day. Yeah, I get 20 to 30 contacts every single day. And I do a Saturday call session because my answer rate is higher. So every Saturday I do 2 to 3 hours of prospecting because I get a higher percentage of answers, right? All the people, if you call them at 9 a.m. every single day, well, they might be working. They don't answer. So you can get a hold of those people on Saturdays. So yes, I make calls every single day, and it's a mindset shift, right? So what I tell people, even when I recruit them, I have a guy on my team that was a diesel mechanic working 12 hours a day. That sucks, right? God bless him. But all you have to do is do 3 hours a day of the tough stuff, right? Which is making phone calls. That's it. And a lot of agents still can't figure it out. So what I challenge you guys is next time you're sitting at a closing table, I want you to really think about where you got that lead from and how you got them to that closing table, and start relating the activity of prospecting to the result of getting your check at the end, right?
Absolutely. So just to clarify for everybody, 20 to 30 contacts, not calls, contacts per day is how you've built your business, and you still do it today.
Correct. Yeah. And Ben Kinney's big on the 150 Mojo dials or the 50 Brivity dials. From my experience, when I started in real estate in 2014, if I made 100 dials, I would talk to 20 people. I would get probably 4 nurtures, book 2 appointments. Those numbers are cut in half right now. We have robo dials, scam dials, all these things going out. So people most often do not answer the phone. So when I prospect, immediately after making a call, I have text clips saved, and I'll send out a text so I can get people to respond, right? And then the end goal is to get them on the phone. So it's more activity. So instead of tracking dials, I track contacts personally.
I love that. I love that. Often people don't want to lead generate because they feel their conversion would be low. Maybe they're just like, they just don't think that they're good enough, or maybe they're not phone people. I don't know if you've heard that one. What are some of the things that you'd coach us on? Like, do you have a mindset shift that works for you, or are there any tactics that maybe lead to higher conversion?
Yeah, so people naturally are okay with letting themselves down, right? So when they set a contact goal and they don't reach it, well, who are they hurting? Themselves, right? So if they get an accountability partner, and I recommend sticking to one script a month and script practice it every single day for a month, and they get 20 contacts on that script every day. And you have to become a phone person. I have not seen one top producer agent that does not make the phone calls. You can do, I mean, I guess you could do an open house every day. Right now, I don't know about you, our open houses are pretty dead. I can talk to 20, 30 people in a couple hours. If you do an open house, you maybe talk to 2 or 3, right? So I would recommend getting an accountability partner, setting firm goals, script practice before making the calls, and then check in with that person after the call session and do a new script each month. And you'll notice your conversion rate get higher.
I love that.
So
go ahead.
you will start out by not being good. That's how everything works, right? So don't feed your programming in your brain that it is going to suck and you're not going to do good, because if you have that mindset before you make the calls, you're going to suck and you won't be good. And then you're going to reaffirm your programming that you suck at prospecting. And that's going to get you out of the business real quick.
Right on. Who do you generally call? Like, and what does that sound like for you? Like, and are you able to set an appointment like on the first call, or is it a game of follow-up? What does that look like for you?
Well, it depends on the lead source, right? So how I built my business, I guess I'll get into that. When I started in real estate, I was mid-20s. The average sales price in Denver was $550. They say pound your sphere. Well, all of my sphere could not buy a home. So I used Ali's listings. I did circle prospecting around the listings. I did just listed script. We would sell the home, and then I would do a just sold script. I would add nurtures to my database, and I'd follow up with them. Very rarely do you call somebody and they're like, yeah, I'm ready to sell right now, unless it's FSBOs, expireds. So it's a follow-up game, right? What's more important, lead generation or lead follow-up? Both are, right? If you're generating leads and then you're not following up with them, well, you might as well not lead generate. There's no point, right? On the flip side, if you're not lead generating and you're just waiting to do lead follow-up, you're not going to have leads to follow up with. You're going to dry up pretty quickly. So
what is, because we do follow off of lead follow-up, what does lead follow-up look like for you? Like, can you give an example for somebody who maybe isn't, like, they don't even know what to say? Maybe they know what to say, but they're obviously not doing it, right? Story of all of our lives. What do you coach your agents on, or what do you coach yourself on?
So I'm a big fan of doing the lead generation first thing in the morning. So that's new people not currently in my database. Okay. And when I talk to somebody that's a nurture, I do not stop prospecting. I write them down on a sticky note. I have a ton of sticky notes. I get their name, their email, notes about them, and I save it. And then I just pile my sticky notes. And then at the end of prospecting, lead generation prospecting, I can then add those people to my database, set proper follow-up. If I need to send out a market analysis, great. Set them up on listing alerts, great. Well, then I can switch gears into lead follow-up. And basically with all these nurtures, I just set tasks, right? And so every day I get my task list to 0, and that means I have followed up with everybody. And then I just rinse and repeat on a daily basis.
Okay, so it's not awkward for you to call and lead follow-up because you have obviously set a task and you know why you're calling them back. And it's just the norm. Like the norm is get your task list to 0 every day. So how long is your lead prospecting session and how long would you say is your follow-up session? Because you sell 40 to 60 homes.
Yeah, I'll do a lead generation for about 2 hours and sometimes more, right? If I don't have appointments that day, I can get an afternoon call session in and double up on that. So that's just the lead generation, and then lead follow-up, depending on the day and how many tasks I have set, that can be anywhere from an hour to 2 hours as well.
Okay, got it. Got it. Anything that you think we should know about expireds, withdrawals, FSBOs, circle prospecting now that the market is changing, right? Are you recommending that we change anything from what we maybe were doing a year ago?
No, if anything, I would say doubling down on those are of the utmost importance right now. FSBOs and expireds have high motivation. Their property didn't sell, and being authentic and having fun, right? Establishing rapport and knowing your market. So I guess that's always the thing as well. Know your numbers when you call, so you're the subject matter expert. And anytime I hit hesitation, especially with expireds, oh, you're the 15th agent that's called me. Hey, sir, I totally understand that. But do you need to sell your home? Well, one of us that's actually motivated and making the calls to call you can help you, right? And then pause, have an awkward pause, and then you can get into it. Because if they actually have the pain of needing to sell their home and it did not sell and they have high motivation, they're going to talk to you, especially if you establish rapport. So I kind of equate sales into this easy equation. I'm not good at math, so it's rapport plus value equals close. So they have to like you, and then they have to see your value in that order before you book an appointment.
I love that. You're so spot on. So you're calling them, you're getting over that awkward first brush off, right? Is there anything that you share in the call that you feel like builds that rapport well for you? What does that sound like?
So it's showing empathy, right? Putting yourself in their position if they were actually trying to be to the coast in Oregon for a job and all of a sudden they couldn't sell their house, right? Showing empathy, man, that really sucks. And I say it like that. Like I talk like myself. I'm not fake on the phone. And so establishing that rapport is showing empathy and then finding things that you have in common with them and just having a conversation. Act like you're calling your buddy. So that's kind of how I treat it, and I have fun on it. And I feel like a lot of agents are robots. So tonality is everything, how you present it, how you do upswings, downswings. I have music going in the background. People can tell I'm having fun, and people are addicted to positiveness. And I learned this from personal training. So if you are happy and you're a shining light, you're going to attract business. If you're on the phone and going, your home didn't sell, and when are you going to interview the right agent for the right job or for the right person to sell your home? Click, right? So having fun, being high energy, and acting like you're calling a friend is going to be the easiest way to get on their good side.
I know that like you are authentically you when you're on the phone, but do you have a framework that you follow for any of these calls? Like, do you have in your head like how the call's kind of gonna go?
So I have an opening line that I say, and I can share that. Adelina, I'll share it with you, my my expired script, and then also my FSBO script. My for sale by owner script is, I'm not dogging on Ben, but it's better than his. So don't tell him I said that. Michelle would kill me. So I'll send that to you. And for people that are high motivation, it's nearly impossible for them to say no at the end of the script. And it's not a preview. It's not doing a, let me come preview your home so I can see what buyers I might have. And then you go there and then all of a sudden Ben Kinney has entered the chat. I love it. And so by doing that, you're doing a bait and switch, right? So number one, if you show up and you're doing a preview and then you're trying to show them about your marketing, guess what? That agent's not going to like you. So you've just limited your chance in actually getting them to sign, right? So I will send you that script, and it has to be authentic, right? So you have your opening line and you have to wait, actually listen to what they say and then respond accordingly, right? So don't just stare at your script and go right into the next question. If they answer and it really is the third question, that would be the best one to ask. Jump down to that question so you can make the conversation flow normally.
I love that. Flow normally. Just be normal, be authentic, but have a framework which you are working off of. I love that. If I switch to like talking about database, there's a lot of us on this call have 300, 500, 1,000, 2,000 people in their database. Like that's a big database by many standards. When you have such a big database, what would you recommend there? Like I mean, is there enough time to get through all of that? Like, what do you recommend to your agents who just have a big database and they're not turning over that database?
Yeah, I mean, ideally you should be getting through, if you have 1,000, ideally at the very least, you should be getting through them every 3 months and find a reason to call. So a lot of agents are very hesitant about calling through their database because they feel like it's just referral based, right? Like, hi, yeah, I sold you a home a while ago. Do you know of anybody that is looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate that you can refer? No, don't do that. That's a selfish call. Call people with a reason to call. If it's past clients, are you doing any work to your house? I have a great list of contractors. Hey, it's about time. I don't know what the weather's like in Texas or if this is a thing, but we have to winterize sprinklers out here, right? It snows in Idaho. So I have a great sprinkler guy that can come out. It's $30. So helping them achieve their goals. And then at the end, hey, I really love working with awesome people like you guys. Do you guys happen to know of anybody looking to buy, sell, or invest that I can help? And if you're helping them, they're more likely to help you.
Here's what I love, and I like, we've got 97 people on this call right now. So I know you guys are hearing the same thing that I'm hearing. I'm having fun talking to him. Like he's coming across like I like to talk to him. That's what you want to sound like on the phone. Because Adam, have I ever called you? Have you ever heard my voice, or have I heard your voice? I don't think I have.
No. No.
This is like a cold call right now. We did not have a prep call. I have no idea what he's gonna say. I didn't even know he was gonna suck. I thought he's gonna be pretty good because Michelle does not lead me astray. This is like a legit phone call right now, and I'm like sold, right? That's what you want to sound like. You don't get to that level, and I'm not stoking any egos here, but guys, you don't get to that level without doing the work, right? Like if you don't take a bunch of shots, you never get good. Like that will never happen. So anyway, speaking of that, how do you get through the suck of boredom? Like stay consistent, or perhaps when you have outgrown a lead gen lover, right? Like you've already done it, you're top agent, you don't have to do this anymore. And also on that, why do you sell so many houses? Why wasn't 25 houses a year enough? You get your health insurance, you're good to go, vacation the rest of the time. Like, tell me about that.
So a lot of agents focus so much on a numerical number. And I did that when I first started. For me, it was six figures. I grew up in a poor household. So making 100 grand a year was a lot of money to me. And I was stuck there for like 2 or 3 years. So then I went, and that's lag measures, right? So that's the end result. So now I just focus on daily tasks, and all that's secondary. So I make it real easy. I talk to a minimum of 20 people a day about real estate, and the rest will work itself out. So getting through the suck is getting it over with as early as possible. So I'll be done with prospecting by noon. I have a recruiting appointment, and then my day's easy. Like what a life as a real estate agent, especially with Ben Kinney team's leverage and systems and processes. Like that's my job. That's all I have to do. How easy is that? So I just knock it out as quick as possible. I have a cup of coffee. I beat up the phones. I don't delay. I don't BS. When I get a nurture that needs listing alerts, I don't just stop there and set them up on listing alerts, because that causes a pause in the lead gen, and then it's easy to quit after that. I get my contacts. That's all I focus on. I have my sticky note, contacts, nurtures, appointments. I track it all. I hit my contact goal, and I make it fun. I do it with other people, and then my day is Like, even if I didn't do anything afternoon, I would still have a successful day. And what other industry can you really say that?
I love it. Right on. What lessons have you learned in business building? Like, have you had any fail forwards, or has it just been sunshine and rainbows and just pretty everything for the last, 9 years?
No, not at all. In fact, far from it, right? So when I first started in real estate, it was peaks and valleys. It was famine or feast. I would do the activities, I'd build my business, I would line up, 5 or 6 closings, and then I would focus so much on those deals. And this is before Ben Kinney team. And then all of a sudden, all your stuff's under contract, and you're like, oh crap, I got to build business again. And well, it's a 90-day business, right? Who I talk to right now, I might, if I successfully move them forward and they have motivation, I might be able to close them in 90 days. But all of my closings are this month. Well, crap, that's 2 months after this. I don't have income coming in. So I'm freaking stubborn, right? So it took me years to manage through that. And now I just make it really simple. Like I said, I'm bad at math. So if I just talk to 20 people minimum every day about real estate, the rest works itself out. So if I have 5 pendings, if I have 8 pendings, if I have 2 pendings, I don't care. I block out my time in the morning. I build my bunker and I make my calls in the morning. If agents call me and have questions on my team, they know not to now. If clients call me in the morning, I do not respond. I get back to them in the afternoon, because you have to teach people how to treat you. And real estate agents, there's a lot of high I people, and you can get lost talking to them. And being busy and being productive are 2 completely different things. So just remember that. Just because you're at the office doesn't mean you're being productive, right? So mornings, make your calls. It's really that simple. I know it sounds stupid, but that's the simplest thing in the world to me. In the morning, I just make my calls, and then I don't have to worry about anything.
So what I'm hearing, and a lot of you guys have read the book, 4 Disciplines of Execution. He is
I love that.
focusing on the lead measure, the top of the funnel, like what's the thing that creates the rest of the funnel to actually work. For him, it's getting 20 contacts or more a day. Contacts, not 20 calls. I'm getting some private messages wanting clarification. It is 20 contacts, not 20 calls, 20 contacts. Because at the end of the day, guys, let's be real. Can you sell 10 houses with the people that you know? Probably. Can you sell much more than that? Most of you can't, right? I don't know, like consistently, right? Because if we could, we'd all like have, 20 people from our sphere that buy, and then we'd bring on 20 more referrals, and we'd all be selling 40 homes. And I know your numbers is not 40 homes that you're selling. But you want to, right? Because you have the vision, like the goal is there, like the ideas, there's a million ideas, right? And the creativity is there, which is awesome, right? These are all good things until there's no execution. And then what was the point? So, okay, Adam, someone who maybe hasn't been methodical or purposeful in business building, or lead generation, call it whatever you want. You guys call it lead generation, you guys it's business building. I don't know how you're going to talk to 20 people a day. Like on the phone is the most efficient way you're going to do it, but there's a million ways to do it. The goal is talk to 20 people a day, right? So for that, if they haven't been purposeful, like, do you have any advice on how to get started, or how to get back on track, or how to implement like a new routine so that it serves our goals, right? We've got 12 weeks left to really like that 90-day cycle. Like, let's go right now versus wait till next year.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit of hippie with that stuff. So I have an Oura ring. I'm big on tracking my sleep. So for me, a successful day starts the night before.
Okay.
And if I don't get my proper rest and my brain's not functioning at 100%, I'm going to naturally be lackadaisical. I'm not going to be as effective on the phone. I'm not going to have as much high energy. So number one is get a good night's sleep. And then I don't set reoccurring meetings in my calendar. I build my calendar out every night for the next day. Because if you just create reoccurring stuff on your calendar, at least for me, I don't know, everybody's different, but it becomes the same thing every day and you start to ignore your calendar. So I make a plan for the next day. I plug it into my calendar. My calendar is visible to people on my team, so they know what I'm doing. And then it allows me to then execute that. So I would recommend that. That helped me a ton. That really did.
Um, it sounds like you have a lot of responsibilities between your personal production that you're passionate about, between the passion that you have for coaching your agents, and probably a million other things that you do that I don't even know about. How do you manage your time? Like, do you have any pointers on managing time to get so much done, right? Because you're productive, not just busy.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's prioritizing your main goal. So for me, and I used to write this on the back of a business card. I would have my successes that I can do by noon. And this started in the athletic industry, and that's from reading Four Disciplines of Execution. I love that book. So I would write the things on the back of a business card about what I need to do by noon, and that's for my personal business. So my personal business comes first because as director of sales, I'm supposed to increase top line revenue for the business. And by me selling houses, that's always going to affect the top line a lot. So I'll do that. And then middle of the day, right after coaching, I have my one-on-ones with my agents. I scatter those throughout the week, depending on the day, right? So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are my coaching days in the afternoon. And then after that is kind of it depends on the day. It could be meeting with clients. It could be making more phone calls if I don't have appointments. It could be dealing with my under contracts, negotiations, showing properties. But I do all of my in-office stuff in the morning, so that way I have autonomy after about 2 o'clock in the afternoon to then focus on everything else.
I love that. I love that. What do you have a non-real estate routine? Do you do something like outside of real estate? Like, I know you work out. Anything else?
Yeah, I play sports, right? And I love sports. So I've been an athlete my whole life. So I wake up early. I have a workout. I have a kick-ass gym in my garage, so I don't even have to drive anymore. So I wake up in the morning. I work out. Today's a little bit different. I woke up a little bit early so I could be on this call. We're an hour later from you. So after my workout, I shower. I head into the office. And then I start my schedule. So I have the same things every day, so it makes it really, really easy. And then outside of work on Sundays, I do not work Sundays at all. I just don't do it, especially during football season. I'm not missing a Broncos game, not going to happen. So and then on Saturdays and Sundays, I play baseball. That just ended, so that frees up a little bit of time. You know, I got date night this Saturday. We're going to see Brian Regan, me and the wife. And I have a kid, a 13-year-old. So we do family stuff on the weekends, if at all possible.
Okay, so you have a pretty big life. I want everybody to hear that, like, this guy isn't like a machine that wakes up in the morning. He just can't wait to lead generate, right?
Yeah, not at all.
You make peace with lead generation because it is the path to success, period, right? Any business you're in. So I love that. Okay, last question that I've got. Final leg of the year. We are 12 weeks out from the end of the year. Do you have any advice of how to finish strong?
Yeah, now's the time, right? And I've been telling agents this the last couple of weeks. If you want to have a good Christmas, it starts now. It actually started last month. So really focus on that. What is that going to look like on Christmas if you're trying to budget because you can't have the best time for your wife, your husband, your kids? Being able to take that break and not stressing about it, because I've had Christmases like that and that's not fun. So what I found is more people run away from pain than they do towards pleasure. So think about the pain points that can drive you and move you forward. And that starts now. So what would that look like in your business if you were to actually talk to 20 people every single day? What would it look like if you were to commit to one script? Maybe it's just listed or FSBOs or expireds, and you were to get 20 contacts with that one script through the rest of the month of September. How would that affect your business? Start thinking about it, right? And then make it easy. Don't stress yourself. Take it one day at a time, right? Today, I'm going to hit my 20 contacts. And then you do that. Tomorrow, you're going to hit your 20 contacts. It's like getting into a fitness routine. It really sucks at first until you build the habit, and then it's just what you do. So don't make it hard on yourself. Focus on today. Get your 20 contacts.
I love that. I love that. Follow-up question real quick, and I'll let you go, promise. How do you protect your time blocks? Like with agents, with clients, right? Like, especially when they need something now. How do you protect those? Like, what does real life look like?
Yeah, so number one is realizing there is no real estate emergency, right? So if a client calls you at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., you can change your voicemail to saying, hey, in the mornings when I'm trying to line up buyers for my sellers and sellers for my buyers, and I will get back to you in the afternoon. So teaching people how to treat you is the number one thing. As soon as you create a gray area, you've just completely derailed your whole day. So make things black or white. In the mornings, this is what I'm doing. I have agents that have questions on an inspection. Awesome. Send me an email and I'll get to you after 2 o'clock and we can talk about it, right? So you have to really teach people how to treat you.
I love that. I love that. I don't know if you're on your phone or a computer. Could you pop in your contact information? You guys save Adam. Adam Wiley is his last name. Save him in your phone so that you can, number one, anytime you think of Idaho, like he would love your referrals. He like physically sells real estate. And if he doesn't sell real estate in that spot of Oregon, he's got somebody on his Idaho or Oregon at this point. He'll have somebody that can sell in that area on his team. And then if you run up against something and you're like, man, this is just not connecting. I just can't do it like you, Adam. I bet you if it's after 2 o'clock, he'd probably like jump on a call for 5 minutes and help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, you're really awesome. Are you going to be at Built How?
I am, yes.
Oh, okay. So Texas, Mary, our director of operations, tells me that we have right around 50 people from Texas, just from this group, which is like half of you guys, already signed up to go to Built How. It's at the end of the month, which is kind of exciting. I don't think we've ever had such a big Texas group ever. We are planning to have a dinner Wednesday night for our Texas crew. Definitely show up for that. There's going to be a calendar invite that goes out to your team leaders and they'll invite you to it. Definitely show up if you want, not just a free meal, although 50 people will run up that bill real quick and it's going to be amazing. And I'm happy to pay it. But it'll be just fun to see people in real life, and especially at like just to kick off like an awesome conference. Ben has a few things up his sleeve that he hasn't even announced that will be really, really cool. So those of you who are interested in going, there's still some tickets left. Adam will be there. You can meet him in person. And other than that, I think we are. He's going to announce a new FSBO script.
It'll be mine if he gets his hands on it.
Brandon, you crack me up. We have a lively group here, Adam. Man, Adam, thank you so much. I will let everybody go. It is 9:14. Get you out a minute early. Have an awesome weekend. Bye, guys. Get your 20 contacts. See you later.
All right, see you guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.